Cybersecurity Today is brought to you by the generous support of our sponsor, Beauceron Security. You can get their 2024 State of Cybersecurity Awareness Report at beauceronsecurity.com, and there's a link you can follow in the show notes.
Patch warnings for Cisco ASA gateways and for a WordPress plugin. Welcome to Cybersecurity Today. It's Friday, April 26th, 2024. I'm Howard Solomon. Network administrators with Cisco Systems ASA security appliance on their networks are urged to install the latest security patches. This comes after the discovery of 2 zero-day vulnerabilities that are being exploited. Cisco says the attacker is likely a government-backed threat actor. Although compromised devices were first seen in January, the attack activity may have started as early as last November. Cisco can't say right now how devices were compromised. This attack deposits a backdoor on ASA gateway devices, which have a combination firewall, antivirus, intrusion prevention, and virtual private network capabilities. A threat actor is hiding behind the cache of a content delivery network to deliver information-stealing malware to organizations around the world. That's according to researchers at Cisco's Talos Threat Intelligence Service. Firms hit so far are in the US, the UK, Germany, Norway, Poland, Japan, and elsewhere. The researchers suspect the threat actor is a Vietnam-based group it calls Coral Raider. It's suspected that employees are tricked by phishing emails into downloading and opening a malicious zip file that triggers infection. Inside the zip file is a shortcut file that starts a PowerShell command. It eventually downloads malware for vacuuming up credentials, cookies, credit card numbers, and anything else it can find. Last September, researchers at Sequoia took over a command and control server distributing the worm version of the PlugX backdoor. The goal of the takeover was to sinkhole the distribution botnet. In other words, automated requests for the malware would disappear as if into a sinkhole. However, Sequoia said this week there are still tens of thousands of internet-connected devices trying to connect to the server every day. In other words, this worm can't completely be stopped because it's still replicating itself. Because Sequoia controls the distribution server, it thinks it could issue a command to infected computers to delete PlugX, but there are legal implications. Deleting it from infected flash drives that spread it may be harder, especially if they aren't plugged into a computer. Now, because infected USB keys and USB storage devices are still used to spread many types of malware, Sequoia urges IT administrators to prevent any file from executing from a removable device, or set Windows to deny removable devices from being used by any employee. Threat actors are actively exploiting unpatched installations of WordPress that use a vulnerable version of the WP Automatic plugin. That's according to researchers at WP Scan. This plugin allows the automated posting of content to any website. The hole in the plugin, a SQL injection flaw, was revealed weeks ago, and a patch is available. Slow patchers are paying the price by seeing their WordPress accounts taken over. Despite the efforts of educators and job recruiters to boost the participation of women in cybersecurity, the number of females working in the sector hasn't budged much. That's one of the findings of a close look at data collected in the annual Global Cybersecurity Workforce Study by the ISC2. The full report was released in February, but the analysis of the survey responses of women was released this week. The number of women in the industry is estimated to be between 20 and 25% of all cybersecurity workers. But there's a higher representation among workers under the age of 44. On average, respondents said 23% of their security teams are made up of women. However, 11% of all survey participants said that there were no women on their security teams. 21% of the men surveyed couldn't estimate how many women were on their security teams. By comparison, 13% of the women respondents said they couldn't guess how many teammates were women. The salary gap between men and women still exists. On average, it's about $5,400. The report says there are several ways employers can help increase women's participation in cybersecurity, including setting hiring, recruitment, and advancement metrics in the organization, and making pay equity a priority. That's it for now, but later today the Week in Review podcast will be out. Guest commentator David Shipley of Beauceron Security will discuss the future of TikTok, the latest in the Change Healthcare ransomware attack, the latest progress in Canada's proposed cybersecurity law regulating some critical infrastructure sectors, and more. Links to details about news mentioned in this podcast episode are in the text version at itworldcanada.com and technewsday.com. Follow Cybersecurity Today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or add us to your flash briefing on your smart speaker. Thanks for listening. I'm Howard Solomon.